you got?
Power steering.
From who?
Epowersteering.
Awesome. Let's sit right here. What's up, guys? Jason from Colin Francis Motorsports. This is Colin.
Hi.
Say hi, Colin.
Hi.
So hey, say hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Anyway, we just got an electric power steering from Epowersteering. I had called them. We needed power steering for our drift car. I had heard of several instances of people catching on fire from hydraulic power steering. So I'm not a fan of being on fire. I'm less of a fan of my son being on fire. So Ken worked with us to get us a power steering unit out here really quick. Today we're going to install it and see how it works. He said he's never had a drift application, mostly road race cars and street cars, so we're going to see how it does in drifting. So we're excited to get started. Some box here. Stickers, a giant fuse, main cable. Bracket. The main unit here. Let's get that. Disturb that wire. Control unit. That's it. All right, let's look at some destructions here. So tools you're going to need is a 5/32 Allen, 12mm socket, various extensions, impact if you got it, 10mm long extension, 1/4 inch impact if you got it, Phillips screwdriver, 12mm wrench, 10mm wrench, and of course some flashlights because it's dark under the dash. So we're gonna get after it. All right, well, first things first, we got to get this steering column out. Colin's going to get this wheel off. We're going to see what we're getting into here.
You're gonna need a 19mm socket on traction and impact, and you're just gonna go in and
There you go.
probably
Put the wheel on it and wiggle it.
okay. Now that's all.
All right. So you got here some Phillips, I would imagine. You want to grab those Phillips while you're in there? Underneath, they'll be underneath here. Pick up that, is it a Phillips or something else?
I can't see the crap.
I would cut it.
Or Phillips.
I think there's one more right there.
And over here.
Okay, so two more. All right.
Oh, it turns out is there a bolt over here?
All right, now gently. This is probably pretty fragile, so squeeze in on the sides a little bit.
I need 240 part is fragile.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just try to be gentle because this is getting close to being older than dirt. Let's see, we got that ring here. I may have to drop this other panel down to get them out. Yeah, let's drop that panel while we're in there. It looks like somebody's already maybe broken it. There's a this kick panel up.
that's one way to do it. Yeah, I think that's the end of the screw. You better just even everything.
Back here. Alright. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then a hidden one right here after you take that kick panel out. Get that out of the way. I guess see what else is holding it. Alright.
There's definitely some. Okay, give me a screwdriver.
One more over there.
Yeah.
Alright.
gentle with it, but
I said it is gentle. Alright. Let's get the hood latch out. Somebody's put all different screws in this thing. All right, so we got the lower panels off, the column panels off. There's a Phillips screw right here that clamps this on. Get your connectors undone here. Let's that one come off. Out over there a little bit. I'm going to spread that clamp. Oh, there it goes. Now you can get to this connector here. Maybe. And then you got one more. This stuff's old, so be gentle. And then what we're gonna do is got some janky wiring on this thing, and it seems like every time we work on this thing, we've got to clean something up from the last people that owned it that didn't really take their time and do it right. Got some breakaway bolts right there. So to get the ignition switch out, it's got breakaway bolts. So they tighten up and it breaks the head off. So you're left with nothing to grab on to take the bolt out. So what I would like to do is I've got a twist out socket that doesn't fit this one. So we're gonna use the old center punch, try to get it centered on the bolt as best you can. Probably about a 6mm. So get like a 1/4 inch drill bit and cross your fingers and hope you drill it centered. Try to center punch it as close to on center as you can possibly get it, because you just want to knock that head off of that bolt. I got some reverse drill bits that might work better. We'll try these reverse drill bits, and it may actually grab and twist that out once it gets in deep enough. You hold that over my hook, buddy. Oh, much better. Look at that, twisted it right out. And grab that one.
That was a little bit scary.
Let's just pull that back. Get it out of your way.
Nice.
Over out of the way. You see that light, buddy? So then you've got a cover back here with 3 10mm nuts on it, and it looks like it has a zip tie also, so we're going to zip those nuts out.
See, the zip tie is what really holds it in place.
What's that?
The zip tie is really what holds it in place.
All right.
The bolts are just there to support the zip tie.
Grab your... So we're about ready to drop this thing, but we need to unbolt it from the rack. So we're gonna raise it up, get that handled, and then see if we can drop this thing out. I think we're pretty close. Let's raise it up, Colin. So we got the bottom loose. It's a 12mm bolt. Just pull it out. It's a pinch on the column. You've got 4 12mm bolts right here. You got 2 up here, 2 down there. So we're going to zip those out and see if this thing won't come out. Well, you got 2 nuts and 2 bolts, so a lot. Hit the brake pedal. Make sure you don't have any more wires in the way. You don't want to break anything. There's a plate behind here. Lift up on that column. Put that brake pedal right in the way. So we're going to need this lower part of the shaft. zip that off. It's just two bolts, and that will come right off. So now we're going to start building the shaft. This comes from Epowersteering. That's the new lower part. Just put it in where you took it. It goes in place of where your old shaft came off. So we went ahead and put the shaft on the lower part of the column, and then you have your bearing bracket here. This is what bolts the column back into the car, or with two nuts actually. It goes here, and then it connects to the Epowersteering motor assembly with a set screw. I put a little Loctite on that. You might want to as well. These are 12 millimeter. This is a 5/16 set screw. All right, now we're gonna put the upper part of the steering shaft on, steering column. It's a little, there we go. So we get that, and there's a window on it for your set screw to go in. It's also a 5/16 set screw. Now you want to clock this thing so the motor's going to sit on the left side. So this is up for your steering column. So this goes up, they'll sit like that. So what you want to do, you got 3 6mm bolts, 10mm bolt head. Get those started. Get all 3 of them started so it doesn't bind on you. You don't want to tighten one up and then have the other ones not want to go in because they're holes off center just a little bit. Make sure you use your trusty Mac wrench from Pat Osborne of Mac Tools. I can get you his number if you need it. You don't have to get crazy with these, just get them, put a little ugga-dugga on it. That's it, that's our complete rack assembly, ready to go back in the car. There's also a vent pipe that runs over to this vent. You can modify it with some dryer tube, or we're just gonna take it out because eventually this is not gonna be used for the street anymore anyway. So you really just kind of pull back and down, and that's out of your way. The motor's going to kind of sit right here, so you want to get that out of the way, or cut it and modify it as you see fit. Or if you want to get real fancy, get a 3D printer and make something really cool. So we're going to slide this in. We got to get this yoke on the rack. So what I'm going to do is get Colin to slide this through, and then hold it for me while I get this yoke on the rack. So we'll get just kind of hold it for me, and I'll try to get that on. Okay. So it bolts back in just like you took it out. There's a slip joint on the bottom where it goes into on that knuckle on the rack. Leave the top bolt loose to be able to locate these bolts up here. If you don't, you're going to fight it until you figure out what you did wrong. So just leave that top slip bolt loose, bolt your rack or steering column in, and then go back down and tighten that slip joint. All right. So once you get your column mounted, you're going to have to find a place to mount the control unit. This is a potentiometer that helps. You can adjust the assist, how much power steering assist you actually want, and then your main power wire. So you've got that. Put your 60 amp fuse in there after you hook it up to the battery. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of being on fire. This will run through your control unit, plug in there. The one from the motor will plug in here. Your assist plug in here, and there's another connector coming off of the column that will plug in here. So what we need to do, since this is our shortest wire, we're going to find the best place to mount this so we can get this wire close to the motor where the other wire comes out of it. So let's check that out. All right, so we decided to mount the control unit over here. There's actually 2 bolts that line up with that bracket. What you need to do is trim a little bit off the bracket on this bottom bolt hole, and it will slide in. You need to put a longer bolt in the top, and it looks like it's gonna work fine. You have to remove 1 bolt and relocate this. I'm gonna put, because your wires are gonna be going in, and it was bolted right there. So what I'm gonna do, your fuse box is right here. So your power wire for your potentiometer goes into the bottom of the unit. I'm going to use that bolt that I took out of there for the ground wire for that. Run all my power wires and see where we land here. We're getting close. All right, now we're going to route our main power and ground wire. They both connect to the battery. Got a really nice loom. I'm going to feed it through the firewall and route it over to the control unit, and let's see how it plays out. All right, Colin, grab this wire, okay? You got it? No. Extra long in case you've got a battery in the back. If your battery's still in the front, don't be like the last guy that owned this car. Make it look good. We're still cleaning up stuff, like I said. These are, and it's pretty self-explanatory, power and ground. Go ahead and cut it off. So for your battery, you need a snap-on wrench from Mike Morrell of Snap-on Tools. I can get you his number if you want. My particular battery is an 11. I'm sure you got different, nicer stuff or something. Once you get these on, I would leave the fuse out until the very last thing. We're going to clean all this up, zip tight, make it look good, and then we're going to route it over to the unit here in a second. So we got our main power ran, we've got the motor hooked up to the control unit. Now we're going to put our potentiometer in for to be able to dial the amount of assist you want. So what you want to do is find a fuse that has power on it with the ignition on. You don't want this thing to stay on all the time. So I found one. You take the fuse out of that one, put it in this slot, and this is the fuse for the unit. So it's pretty simple. You just plug that in like a fuse. And you plug this into the unit like that, and then you've got one ground wire. Now where we move this bracket here, I'm going to use that hole for the ground wires since I already have a bolt and I already have a hole. So we're going to put that right there, and then that's done. So we're going to find a place to mount our assist, clean up some of this other junky wiring from the last guy who didn't care what he was doing, and we're about ready to try it out. We're going to put all of our panels on. We'll probably leave the panels off until we actually test it, just to make sure we have access to everything if we need it. But that's almost it. So we're going to clean all this up, and then we're at day 2. We got everything wrapped up, but it rained yesterday, so we had to postpone the testing. We did drive around the block. It feels amazing. So we're going to take it to the spot and let Colin get sideways and see how he likes it. All right, let's load this thing up. Colin have a spin in it, get it sideways and see how it handles. We changed some Ackerman and some different things on the suspension. We're gonna see how it handles for him. You ready, bud?
Yeah.
So we came to the spot to test drive the Epowersteering kit. Works fantastic. It was way above what we thought it would be. The quality of the kit, the way it works, everything about it was just awesome. So what do you think? Event at Bristol. Check it out.